Broadcasting live from the Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye, it's Contemporary Inc. with Bill Blair, your Lorcana podcast. It's August 18th, 2023, and you know what that means? It's release day for everybody's most awaited card game from Disney ever, Lorcana. And wow, have we got a story for you. We've had some feedback from people. Not everybody's into the scripted content, so we're going to give a more free flowing stream of consciousness approach to today's episode. And I think it'll lend itself to it because we've done a lot of running around and the frustration is real. I think that this new format may help bring that across. It all started 2 weeks ago when my local game shops told me that I could start pre-orders. They would have some idea of how much stuff they were going to get today. And I had the opportunity to get down on a list. Now, there is a game store that is like 10 minutes from my house. And frankly, I had only been there a couple of times in the last, 10 years. And I always thought that their prices were a little high. They were always running 20 or 30% more than Amazon. I'm not a rich man. I get paid by the hour, and an extra $30 on top of $100 board game is a lot of money to me. So I admit I've done it. I've bought board games on Amazon instead of paying the extra $30 to buy them at my local game store. Mostly because my local game store was way over MSRP. I don't know why I was surprised. I don't know why I was so flabbergasted when I saw the prices that they were listing at the place near my house. Booster boxes were coming in at $249 with a limit of 2 per person. Now I understand the limit. I would even understand 1 per person. But $249 is well over by $100 the standard price, the MSRP, for a box of boosters. And I didn't know where that was coming from. Now, obviously, there might be some effort to deter predatory eBay resellers who are going to buy the boxes at MSRP and then resell them on eBay for a profit. I don't think it's my local game store's job to police this kind of activity. And let's say they are doing that. Are they going to refund the community somehow, that extra $100 per booster box? Somehow giving back to the loyal players who have been coming there for years? I asked my local game store why and how and what they were doing with that money. And the answer I got from the rank and file employee who was behind the counter was that they just charge whatever the going rate is on eBay. That's it. So there's no incentive for you to go down to this particular game store and buy things from them when you could just have them delivered to your house for free on eBay. That being said, they were also having starters going for $20 a piece, which is, $3, I guess, whatever. A gift set was going for $50, and the Illuminator Trove, which is already $50, was going for $80. That I really don't understand, because the whole appeal of the Illuminator Trove is you get all this extra stuff for buying 8 packs. If you want to spend a little more money, I suppose you could buy just a box of boosters. I think the Illuminator Trove is a heck of a value for what you get, and I wanted to get at least one. Now, after the conversation I had with my local game store, I was dismayed, to say the least, and vowed never to go there again due to their predatory pricing practices. Thankfully, there is a store only 5 minutes away difference in the next town over, and I was able to get on a list with them. They said that they were a relatively small store and were probably going to get a limited amount of activity from Ravensburger and their distributor. But I thought, okay, I'll believe them, so I went even farther afield, calling a store 45 minutes away from my house, several towns over, who said that I could definitely get all the stuff that I wanted. And I left it at that. Then, a couple days ago, I started making phone calls again. I caught a couple emails, too, saying that the list I was on was full. I was not close to the top of the list, and there was a very limited chance that I was going to get anything. I was heartbroken. I knew that come September 1st, I'd be able to get as much as I want from big box stores and online, but I wanted to play early and I wanted to support the local game shops that have frankly been floundering all through the pandemic. So I put my name down on those lists and I waited. I called, and they all said the same thing, that supplies were limited and they would do what they could. So yesterday, a long day because I'm sitting at work waiting for the clock to run out. They told me to call. I didn't. I just went down there to the store 15 minutes from my house, and they were completely sold out. They said that their shipment had even arrived late, and that even with their stuff coming, hours after they needed it to be there for opening, the line gobbled it all up, and I was frankly too late. So all those people without other commitments were able to get and play those cards, and I hope they're enjoying them right now. I was able to drive the 45 minutes to the second store or third store in this story, and pick up a single starter deck. And if you want to watch the unboxing of that starter deck and a brief description of what's in it and what the difference is between a starter deck and booster packs, you can pick that up on our YouTube channel, which is under the same name. It's just Contemporary Inc. Pod on YouTube. In lieu of actually having a booster box, I downloaded a brief description of what it's like to open several booster boxes from somebody that made an Excel spreadsheet on Reddit. I don't remember who made this, but major credit to this person. Apparently, if you open several boxes of Lorcana booster packs, some patterns become clear. No boxes have duplicates of foil cards. So there are 24 unique foil cards per box. This person opened 6 boxes and had 3 enchanted pulls. And that was from box 1, 3, and 4, being a Stitch, a Mickey, and a Belle. And for those of you unfamiliar, the enchanted cards are like the alt art cards of this set. Of all the 6 boxes, only 1 legendary foil was from Elsa. And I think that's interesting because we've seen that Elsa pulls a lot more weight because of her popularity. So if you're looking to get prestige cards, you're going to have to open 6 boxes to get 1 legendary Elsa foil. Now, at least every common was available in a single box, except Aladdin, Prince Eric, and those just, I guess, came in a little more rare. That would be an interesting thing to. I'm not a Excel guy. Of the rares, these cards appeared the least, getting 2 of the, I think, Maleficent Dragons. The Lagos, only 2. The Aurora, it says DG, I don't know what that means. 2 of those. Dr. Facilier, RG, 2. And Genie OTJ, which you get 1. All the rares and super rares had 3 or more copies across 6 boxes. I really wonder how many of these booster packs am I going to buy over the life of this game? Because I'm kind of in it for the long haul, and I know that there's probably going to be 3 or 4 expansions like a year. Every 90 days there's going to be a new expansion, and I'm going to want to buy some from each one of those sets. So I don't want to go overboard with this initial round. I'm not so naive as to think that they've shot all of their best cards into this. I fully expect that they're going to dig deep when it comes to popular artists making fun cards to collect out of the sets that are going to come in the future. They'll probably be smaller. I don't think they're going to have the size of this base set. But, if they've got 110 cards, that'll be enough to augment some decks coming down the road. The average number of rare, super rare, and legendaries was 5, not counting the enchanted cards. And a really interesting thing is that the 6 common cards in each booster pack always followed the same ink pattern within that box. So if you imagine that at the Ravensburger factory, there is a machine that has every card, all 204 cards, in it, and that it randomly, or pseudo-randomly due to some algorithm, distributes those cards in those packs, that it always does it according to a set pattern. I don't know if that will affect collecting or gameplay at all, but it certainly allows for an even distribution of colors amongst your collection. So you're not going to come down and find that everybody's collection is really heavy into amethyst or something like that. That it's very even and disparate across the whole thing. To shift gears real quick, let's take a look at what's going on eBay right now. So it's the evening, and people have been getting their boxes all day, and we're looking at stuff that's completed on eBay for Lorcana booster boxes recently, like in the last 12 hours. And we're seeing prices like $285, $269. We got two boxes that had a best offer of $600. Who knows what that one was? You've got a first chapter sealed and ready to ship that went for $299 with $8 shipping. Another guy has 3 booster boxes in his image. Oh my god, the next guy has like 10 booster boxes in his image. And those are all going for $300 a piece. Remind yourself, this is a $144 box. People are making a little bit extra money off of the hobby, assuming they bought it at retail. I'm sorry, if you have to get your booster packs this way, I know it's rough that you might want to wait until more stock comes in. I have heard from several game stores that come the 1st of September, there's going to be so much inventory, you're not going to know what to do with all of it. But for right now, it's a very limited release. So if you've got that fear of missing out and you absolutely have to have this release box, expect to pay a premium of over $150 for the pleasure of having these booster packs even a week early. I'm not sure, I'll mail a letter sometimes and it takes like a week to go cross country. So I don't know if these are shipping USPS, if you're even gonna get these before the 1st. I think we've established that the feeling from Ravensburger was that they were not going to put a first edition stamp on these initial release cards because they really wanted people to play with them. And I fully agree with that. I would much rather see these cards in the hands of players than people who are going to sock them away for 10 years and never see the light of day. I think that the hobby can suffer a couple of those, but it's not good for people that just, are excited and want to play right now. So if you absolutely can't wait 2 weeks, I guess spend the extra $150 and get it 2 days shipped, FedEx, cross country. Another eBay search, this time for Lorcana foil cards, is showing that the current price on a lot of commons, uncommons, and even rares is less than $5. If you want that enchanted Tinkerbell giant fairy card, yeah, you're going to pay $200 right now. But I don't see a problem building out a deck out of foils if you've got a little money and you want to spend it on, something kind of fun. That Captain Hook Fierceful Duelist, it's going for $4.95 with free shipping. You could have 4 of those in your deck, no problem. That fairy and his lamp lit up with that cold foil process, you can have that. Somebody bought a Elsa Snow Queen, just the standard uncommon, for $9.99. I think $5 for shipping a single card is a little excessive, but someone else paid $12.95 with free shipping for an Elsa Snow Queen foil, and you know what? That actually doesn't sound that bad. Her ability to exert a chosen opposing character is pretty powerful, and if you want to extend that into 4 of those in your deck for only, like $40, I think that's not ridiculous. If you absolutely want to hear my thoughts on purchasing secondary market cards right now, I think that your common cards are probably overvalued. Getting any common card for $5 and then a couple of dollars for shipping is probably paying too much, because in a month you're going to be able to get 4 versions of those cards for probably the same price. And since competitive play is probably still, weeks, if not months and months away, the desire to have the perfect deck right now is less important, to me at least. I want to play with the cards that I actually have, which is, at this point, 1 starter deck. But on the other hand, your foils and legendaries haven't reached that equilibrium point that they're going to in a couple of months. We may find that legendaries that aren't Elsa only go for $20, or we might find they go for $8. I don't know. If you can pick up a legendary for under $20 at this point, go for it. If you can pick up an enchanted for less than, $100, maybe lay off. Those are probably overvalued at this point. I think the fear of missing out is in full effect, and you don't necessarily have to give in to that impulse. When it came down to it, if the option was spend $200 on an Elsa foil or buy 4 Illumineer troves, I'd probably take all the extra bits and bobs along with all those extra foil cards and commons, but that's just me. Old Bill's a big fan of playing with the cards that he has and not necessarily stockpiling shiny foil cards that live in a binder forever. So I think we're reaching the end of this freeform sort of thought process thing we're trying today. But we did start an Instagram page, and of course we're on YouTube now. You can feel free to watch those videos on there. You can actually listen to this whole podcast on YouTube if you want. I've been trying to give back as much as I can to the Reddit community, which has been very helpful in the production of this particular episode. If you've liked what you've heard today, we do have a couple more episodes in a more scripted format. If you liked this sort of free-form stream of consciousness thing, please give us a like and holler at us in the comments. I appreciate everyone's thoughts and input. I literally can't do it without you. And as always, ashes to ashes, funk to funky. We all know Mr. Toad's a junkie.